It's a health issue. It's going to run from North Dakota all the way to Texas and all the aquifers. Bitumen will do bone marrow, kill your babies, your future. This is why we're here. I have the treaties, the U.S. Constitution, and the flag of the little bighorn. Stop hurting me!
Joann Mae Spotted Bear from Wounded Knee, and this is
Stop hurting me, Dad. You don't have to hurt
This is
me.
Wounded Knee, and she's here from Wounded Knee.
Okay, here we are doing another episode of Pot Talk. And once again, I'm glad to be here with Joann Spotted Bear. And I would like to point out, we've done a couple of shows here now. It's time. I'm actually ashamed of the American people. You know, how many people has our country killed? I'm a Vietnam veteran. When I was in Vietnam, I saw us killing women and children. And when I came home, even to this day, I have trouble sleeping after what I saw in Vietnam. And right now, we're still killing Arabs in Afghanistan and in Iraq and Afghanistan. And we're still killing innocent people. And we've been killing American Indians for how many years in this country? Isn't it, haven't enough people died? Isn't it time to stop it? I believe it is. And only the American people, if they wake up and say, you know, it's time to put an end to all the killing. You know, how many countries have we invaded? How many people have we killed? And for what? It benefits not the American people. It benefits the big corporations. It benefits the oil companies. It benefits the 1%, you know, and it's time to stop it, you know. I stand strong with the people at Standing Rock, and every American should right now stand strong with those people. And not just at Standing Rock, but all the American Indians. All the treaties have been violated. It's time for America to start honoring the treaties. We make treaties with so many countries. If we can't keep our treaties here at home, why should Russia believe a treaty that we make with them? Why should China believe a treaty that we make with them? Why should any country in the world believe America, since we have such a history of violating treaties? And on that, I'd like to let Joann speak, since she can speak the best about the treaties and the violations of the treaties. Take it away, Joann.
Thank you very much. First, want to say thank you for allowing me on your show. I want to thank you for serving for this country. I remember a story a while back that our grandmothers told us on behalf of the indigenous people. They said, when you fight for this government, you're not fighting for the United States of America. Everything on this land, even under the ground, it all belongs to you. You were born here. You come from this land, so it's all yours. So you remember that when you go out there, you're fighting for this land. You're not fighting for anybody else. You're fighting to protect the future generation. They also told us that to look at these eagle feathers. They said, look at them. They said each feather represents someone in your family that has died, in your nation of people. But yet they're all standing there with you. They're all with you in the most sacred way. So they look right here. This is the road right here. You could choose the left road or the right road. But the red road is to know that your family history, that you never forget who you are and where you come from. Always remember that. And the veterans who have fought and died in different countries around the world, you never forget them. You always honor them, love them, respect them, because they have killed other people around the world, and they're going to carry that message with them from now until eternity. And they're going to have to explain to the Creator just what it is they've done to different nationalities. And a lot of our veterans, they're going to have come back here with
Post-traumatic.
PTSD, and you're going to have to help pray for them, and help them and let them know that it wasn't their fault. It was this government. It was one man who got really greedy and who chose to create war on people he never met, he never sat down and had a meal with, let alone drink a glass of water with. So you remember that in the most sacred way, Joe, I even get chills in my arms because I remember a peyote meeting. It was said to this veteran, the deaths that have happened, they're not yours. They'll never be yours. They belong to a greedy man. The things that have happened here on this land is as a little kid, our Indian people have always said to honor and respect your loved ones. And one day, Creator, Atewa Kantanka, he's going to ask you what you have done for your neighbor. And you're going to say, I helped them to live. On this land, you have, whether you know it or not, you've helped our people. And what other nations were doing, were protecting their people and their lands. And this government, it started with a group of men who are already criminals who came on a ship in 1492. They created what is called a government, and this government here has no land, has nothing, basically has nothing, but they came here. They ran away from their own country so they can have a new way of life. Now they're imposing a life onto innocent people who've never done any wrong to them. And so we also go back to the Black Ink on White paper, and they said that we have to separate ourselves and always believe. Blahichapo is the name, Blahichapo, in your heart, in your mind, in your soul. And always remember that what you done was for the best interest of the people to live. And coming from Wounded Knee, I love the veterans, I really do. I want to dance with them, I want to sing with them, I want to fight with them, and I want to die with them, because they gave their all, their life, to the Creator to help somebody else live. And therefore, it's a great honor to sit with you here today on this day, this beautiful day, to talk about treaties, to talk about the water, to talk about the land, to talk about Standing Rock and people around the world, to talk about how veterans want to do something to help other people to live and to succeed. But the government, whoever is up there, like Donald Trump, he's the biggest person, the highest example of what bigotry, genocide, poverty, that's what it looks like. And that's why we're here. We're here to stand up against the Black Ink on White paper and to help make changes, to say, no, we're not having this no more. We want it to stop, and we want to stop it now. We want to stop it, the bankruptcy. We want to stop this de facto, illegal, chartered
corporation.
Chartered corporation who's writing de facto executive orders. How do you feel as a veteran knowing that you have and this is a hard question. I have to think about how I'm going to say this, but there's no easy, softer way of saying it, especially coming from a Lakota, is this. And many of our veterans probably will feel the same, but those who went to Standing Rock did make an apology, so I want to let you know I'm very aware. It kind of gives me two thoughts now, but I'm going to say it the way I know how to say it the best. How does it feel to know that the United States is bankrupt, writing de facto executive orders to shoot, kill, and murder innocent people who have done no wrong to them? As a veteran, now that you know about the bankruptcy, and I know you've done many shows on it, But to know that this de facto government wrote executive orders to innocent people to kill more innocent people.
Well, I'm against it. From the time I came back from Vietnam, I joined the anti-war movement, and I've been against war ever since.
Mm-hmm. You know, Joe, I'm going to tell you, it's hard. It's hard. A lot of our people, they feel the same. And when I touch you, I feel your soul, I feel your heart, and I know with my life that you never meant to hurt nobody. We feel the same. No person was meant to die, not one. No person was meant to be contaminated by bitumen through the water or the food supply. Everybody came here from around the world to find a new way of life, to work, and to have a good future. And this government, they said, we're the ones who invented all of this stuff. And we're the ones, this is our country, this is our nation. No, it isn't. It's not your nation, it's not your country, and you didn't invent it. Tinkashla, Creator Almighty, has a warehouse in heaven. And all of us have the ability to grab a dream, a vision, and to make this a reality. And the reality of the situation that we are creating today throughout the land and around the world is the freedom for people to live. To help our younger generation in hopes that they too will open up their eyes and say, you know what, I'm not going to create trouble here. I'm going to help these people. And even though the government wrote an executive order to shoot, kill, and to create mass murder, we're not going to do that. We're going to take these guns and put them down. I mean, that would be a miracle, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, a big miracle, huge.
Well, I think the American people really have to stand up now to bring about the changes we need. And what we need, we really need peace. And I think one of the best places to start is for us to start doing right by our Indian brothers and sisters. They really need our help. And Standing Rock is a good place to start, but not just Standing Rock. There's what's going on at Standing Rock is right now it's not in the mainstream media, but people are aware of it. But this has been going on. We were working with the Scotticoke Indians over in Connecticut, and in Connecticut, they were taking their land, and they've been taking the Mohawks' land, and every tribe. It's time for the American people to tell our government that it's really time right now to start honoring the treaties that we have with these people, especially since we have a bogus, we don't have a government anymore. You people have to wake up to this. It's a corporation. The United States government went bankrupt, and after it went bankrupt, it became a corporation. We don't have the republic that they keep teaching your kids in school. We have a republic. It's not a republic. It's a corporation being run for the corporate people, being run for big money, being run for Wall Street, being run for the banks. It's time to bring some humanity back into America. It's time for us all to stand up.
Mm-hmm. I agree strongly. I wanted to talk about water. And how much, if we don't make a change and if we don't stand up, this is what I do know. Fukushima is the largest radiation explosion in the history of this world, and it's contaminating the ocean as we are speaking here today, and it has been an ongoing issue for about 2 years, right? Approximately.
More than that, I think.
Yeah, about 5 years. 5 years. And then in Farmington, New Mexico, they won a court case down there for contaminating the river. I believe it was the Colorado River, if I remember correct. and they won a court case for $1 million, but yet AV Water continuously still contaminates the water in Farmington area and among the Navajo Nation down there. And then we have Flint, Michigan, who is also paying $31 a case of water. Could you imagine that? $31 a case of water. And then, from what I understand, by going to a few meetings here in Woodstock, it just blew my mind out of the water that they had uranium and diesels, railroads crossing one another. And from my understanding, there's already been a few accidents that happen. And we all know that uranium is used to create bombs and mass destruction. And so when you put uranium with diesel, it creates a disaster. It's a
Toxic soup.
Yeah, toxic soup. And you know, water is life. And like I said, the only way for us to really make a change and to stop all of the contaminating of water, any kind of disasters that are coming and being foreseen as we see it today, is literally to pull the charter number of the bankrupt United States of America at the Capitol using the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court does not honor treaties, then the Supreme Court is also de facto, due to the fact the United States is a de facto charter number. And individually, those judges are creating treason against treaties. One time, my family members said that the United States doesn't listen to us, and neither does the United Nations. And so when we take this to World Court, because they're all run by white people, they're not going to listen to us either. And so what we need is an indigenous World Court made of the world. And I know that this sounds very huge, but we are talking about the lives of the world whose future is at stake here, whether it be through guns and wars or uranium or contaminated soup. We are in a situation today where we need to value what we say and say what we mean, walk our talk, and to help one another. So this here that the government is doing has no color. What they have is greed, selfishness, insecurities, and de facto bankrupt executive order that's superseding all of us.
Yeah, and
Pretty.
it really is time for the people for the people to stand up and start demanding change in this. It really is time for the people to say enough is enough. You know, what Joann was saying about the water, we had that same thing here. We had a bottling company wanted to come and start buying our water and bottling it and selling it back to us in plastic bottles, you know, where everyone should have clear drinking water. When you turn on your faucet, you should be able to drink that water. What they're doing is destroying the water that we drink and then selling it to us in plastic bottles. It's time for people to stop buying all these plastic bottles of water. You know, as long as we support this, then they're going to keep buying up our reservoirs. So I don't buy plastic water in plastic bottles anymore. I actually have a water purifier that I pour the water in and let it drip through and get clean. I would recommend people do that and stop buying bottled water, because as long as you buy bottled water, then now the water becomes valuable, just like they want to buy our reservoir, the water that we normally get out of the faucet, and then they're going to put it in bottles and sell it back to us. It really is getting crazy about water, And it is time for us all to stand up and start demanding clean water. Clean water, it should be a right for every human being on this planet, and it shouldn't be sold to us in plastic bottles. It's time for a change. And only if we the people stand up in mass. I mean, whatever the issue, there's so many problems with this world. I mean, they're spraying us like bugs from the airplanes in the sky, leaving chemtrails. You could take up that. If you're worried about the water, you could take up that. But everyone in this country should be active about something. There are so many problems, but if the people can bring about solutions, if the people work towards it, if you just sit home and play with your little computer thing, and that's all you're doing is this all day long, you're not doing anything for your own good or for the benefit of anybody else. It's time to put these things down, and start getting involved in fixing the problems. Only we the people can bring about the changes that need to be brought about. And if we don't bring them about, then we are the ones that are going to suffer. And our children are going to suffer, and our grandchildren are going to suffer. And we don't have a right to pass on all this pollution to our children and grandchildren. So it's time to wake up, America. It's time to demand change. It's time to stop. All you people, the Democrats were, we want Hillary, and the Republicans were, we want Trump. Hillary and Trump get their marching orders from the World Bank, from the Federal Reserve, from the big money people, from the bankers. It's time to put those people out of business. It really is, folks. That they are the ones that create the wars. They profit from the wars. I've done many shows on the bankers and how the bankers loan money. They don't even loan money. They loan paper to the government that's not even real money. Our Constitution says real money is gold and silver. They're giving us toilet paper, and then they're saying it's a debt, and they're passing this debt on to our children and our grandchildren. We are so far in debt that our grandchildren are going to be slaves. When that newborn baby is born, they're saying, well, kid, you now owe us $500,000, and we're going to take it from you all your life. We are going to pick your pockets for the rest of your life. What have we left for future generations? It is time for us to fix it. And since the Federal Reserve has given us paper and not real money, then when they say, we owe trillions of dollars, it's time to say, no, you gave us forged certificates, you gave us forged money, and we're not paying it. We don't have a national debt because you never gave us money. We could, if we had real political leaders that were watching out for the people, they would stand up to the Federal Reserve and the World Bank and say, this fraudulent paper that you've given us, and now you say we owe you big debt, we owe you debt, we don't owe you anything, and we're going to lock you up for printing counterfeit money. That's what they've been giving us, counterfeit money. And it's time for us to say, since you've given us counterfeit money, we owe you absolutely nothing. We could write off the debt and free our children and our grandchildren.
Let me chime in, please.
Yeah.
I would like to express that there's still a lot of gold and silver being pulled out of, a lot of silver and turquoise coming out of New Mexico and Arizona, and a lot of gold being pulled out of California and in the Black Hills, uranium and mineral rights, trees that are being cut down. So technically, I want to say your government.
Not mine.
I'm glad you said that. The United States government is sending the gold and silver to places like Dubai. and they're holding this gold and silver into a safe. Technically, the Black Hills gold and the gold that come from this land is being taken by the underground mafia, whoever that might be, and the U.S. government, and they're moving the gold and silver away from this land. So when it comes to the climate change, there's too much gold and silver on one side, so the earth begins to shift. And so with that being said, and all the trees and everything that are being cut down, and the way that the water is starting to melt, and the holes that are being dug in the ground, the earth is surely to crack. That's why our people always say, pray and keep praying and learn to do what is right. As indigenous people, from 1492 till this very day, the government owes us more money and in gold and silver than they can pay. They cannot, no country, even if you put all the countries together to pay the United States debt off, you will never pay the debt off of 1492 till the current day. There's no way that anyone could pay us off. I was asked about this question, is Joann, let's say you won your court case, what are you going to do for the white people? And many of them said, you should send them back to Europe. And and so I told them that I can't make a sole decision because it would have to be the minority vote of the people.
Majority.
Because, the majority, because I'm just one person in Ixchewia who just wants our people to live. And I don't have the heart to be mean to other people. I really don't like the government of the United States or the choices that they made over the years and the genocide and poverty that they imposed on the world. But that's between the government and the de facto charter number and the black ink on white paper that I'm challenging. And those who are in that office, because they knew right from wrong and chose to do wrong anyway. And so for the money part of it, I want our people to live and to be happy and to have a good life. I want I know that on the other hand, there was many different Europeans who came to me and said, Joann, we're willing to pay the taxes as long as it's going to the Indians and not to the government. And then I seen when that the lady and the guy who owned the homes and went in foreclosure. Do you remember who I'm talking about? Fannie Faye, was it? Fannie Faye and Freddie Mac?
Freddie Mac.
Yeah. They went and did foreclosures on many homes. Well, Fannie Faye and Freddie Mac, you don't own the mineral rights either. As a matter of fact, it's our mineral rights, and you've never paid your debt either to the native indigenous people. So technically, we can pull your charter number and take your homes away from you and get you for treason of treaty, because your de facto United States government has been writing executive orders throughout the world. And treason of treaty is actually a death sentence. So not only could we take you home, but we could also take your life for lying to the people of the world. So, but that's not up to me. It's up to your own peers right now to judge you for who you are and what you've done to them. Because technically, the people did not deserve to hear your lies. And as for telling the truth, the great Lakota nation and many nations have always said, this land belongs to us and so does all the mineral rights. But many people chose to have deaf ears. And it's not until something dramatically happens that people are going to wake up. So by pulling the charter number of the United States of America, how do you think many people are going to say, I thought we lived in a country and I didn't know that the White House or the Capitol had a charter number. I thought we were a country. And what about these executive orders? I thought that was law. And come to find out it isn't. And that's a rude awakening for many people.
Yeah. And I'd like to bring up something here. Right now, Joann is fighting a case for the rights of the Indian people, and she wants to take it to the Supreme Court. And after the Supreme Court, if she gets no results there, we want to take it to the World Court. We want to take it to the Hague, and we want to get some kind of justice for the Indian people. So we've been working on mostly Joann, but I helped a little bit, and Paula helped a little bit, and Susanna helped a little bit, and we've put together a legal document that Joann is going to take. Joann Spotted Bear is going to take to the Supreme Court and to the World Court. So we really do need, in order to fight this case, not we, because I'm not involved so much, but Joann needs. We need to raise funds for Joann. And once again, I'm asking all you people out there, if you could send a $5, and I'm only asking, $5 is not a lot out of anyone's pocket, but if we could get 1 million people to send $5 to Joann Spotted Bear, a postal money order to her post office box, you would give us the funding, you would give, not us, Joann, the funding to fight this battle. And Joann, why don't you tell people the postal box and how they can send a $5 postal money order, people. That's what, it's not a lot of money. We really need, Joann really needs your support. The American Indians need your support. And Joann's case is a very strong case. I've seen her paperwork and worked with her on her paperwork. And if we can get this into the Supreme Court, that the treaties have been violated, and it's time to honor the treaties and give back the land to the Native Americans, or to our Indian sisters and brothers who have been screwed around since we the white people got here. You know, it's time for us to stand and do something to rectify a wrong that's been done. So if you could send a $5 postal money order, you would help in this battle to do right.
P.O. Box 545.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Say it.
Thank you. This is Joann Spotted Bear. We are asking to send $5. We would like to submit a document into the Supreme Court, and then submit another document into the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland, and then take those 2 documents plus a third document and submit it to the Netherlands. As of right now, we do have documents that are ready to be walked into the Netherlands to the judge on behalf of what we are doing, and they're waiting for the go-ahead. And I just want to let everybody know that this is very important. I know with my life that what I'm doing, I could be killed for it. And I also know that the United States of America, the de facto government, never did like the full-blooded Native American Indians, because we hold the original title to the land, which is the treaty. The treaty is not a lodial title, a deed, or a bill of sales. It's not a charter number. It's not a bond. It's not an EIN number. It's an original way of life that they conducted in 1871, I believe it was, or before that. But, 1781. There you go, 1781. So what we are saying to this very day is, I would like help with $5 to be sent to Joann Spotted Bear, JOANN SPOTTED, capital BEAR, Post Office Box 545 Bearsville, New York, and the zip code.
Paula, zip code, you got it.
Oh, the zip code is 12409. That's P.O. Box 545, Bearsville, New York. 12409. 545, Bearsville, New York, 12409.
Yeah.
And I want to just say at this point that it's like Joann said, it was never meant to be, if the treaties were honored, that she would be in a position like this, and the position that she's in, when she's lifted from this position, it's not just about helping her at all, and it's not, as Buffy Sainte-Marie said, this is not even an indigenous problem. And it's not a new problem. It's a problem at least 500 years old and maybe older. And so the fact that we have an opportunity right now to actually do something, $5 is so little to actually do something, and we can prove it that we're doing something.
And I want to make it clear again.
It's not, you were talking about a defense fund, Joe. It's more like a peace mission, because you're not even coming in as a defendant. You're coming in with
right.
You maybe could
I shouldn't
explain
use
that,
defense fund.
or explain the difference there.
But please send it as a postal money order. In the past, different accounts have been set up, and the money didn't go where it should go. That's why we set it up this way. So if you send a postal money order in Joann Spotted Bear's name, it'll get directly to it, and no one can tamper with it, because it's tampering with the U.S. mail, and the federal post office it's much harder to tamper with. You want to explain the problems that you had over the internet?
Could I just say a little bit on that? I know it's so easy to push a button on the internet, and we've become practically addicted to these little devices, and our credit card accounts, it's all getting so nebulous, but these methods are not reliable, and you might think, oh, it's such a difficult thing to go down to the post office and get a postal money order. But you're going to learn something in the process. You're going to learn about what is real versus what isn't. Because that's what these topics are. What is real? What are our real feelings, and what are our real jobs, and so on. And probably the greatest effort of this $5 request will be going down to the post office. We'll be buying an envelope, an old-fashioned stamp, putting it in the mail. But we can assure you there's a physical location here. And if it's made out to Joann, Joann Spotted Bear, Spotted Bear, and it's Bearsville, Spotted Bear, Bearsville. So it's 545, even if you don't remember the zip code. 545
Post office
is
box.
the post office box. Bearsville, New York. It'll still get there, because this is the only Bearsville, New York, right next to Woodstock. And it will get to her. It will actually get to her, and we can do more shows like this. And Joe has some ideas, and already you could see with Buffy Sainte-Marie, you could feel the reverence, and you could also feel the pressure that she's under. You can't expect just one, even famous person, to take this on their own shoulders. And yet, here we have Joann right out at the forefront, truly doing what I feel is about healing.
Yeah.
It's when she said you don't fight for the land, you're fighting for everything that grows on the land and everything you've invited to be in your land. And I feel honored to be a guest in your land. I understand that.
I just want to say thank you. I was listening to you, and I saw all these different beautiful things in Woodstock. A lot of people don't know, but I grew up in Wounded Knee, South Dakota, in a small home with my grandma. And my grandma died in 1979, and so did my dad. and my mom was an alcoholic. And I grew up in boarding schools, and I remember growing up to alcohol and drugs, and I didn't want to live. And I remember that they told us that if we ever picked up the Chinupa and we had to help the people, that we had to follow through, because the Creator, He would give us a dream and a vision, and we would be successful one day. And I remember telling the people, I don't want to live. I don't never want to help anybody, because nobody helped me. And I remember being molested and shot and ran over and stabbed, and different genocide things happened with me. And I used to hate it. I used to hate the American Indian movement because they weren't there, but yet they used the Wounded Knee name. I used to hate the government because they said, oh, we helped the Native American Indians, but where were they when we needed your help? And so today, and what has changed is there was this guy in Reno, Nevada. His name is Bucky Sampson. He said, Joann, if you pick up this Chinupa and come to Sweat and Sundance and pray, I promise you that one day Tunkashla is going to give you a vision that you want. And you'll never be able to put it down. And you'll always be there to help somebody else. And I said, I don't want to help nobody. I want to drink and do drugs and die, and that's all I want to do. and today, lo and behold, we traveled from Reno, Nevada, to Wounded Knee, to Standing Rock, to Washington, back to Standing Rock, back to Wounded Knee, back to Albuquerque, to LA, back here to New York, just to find the answers that Joe and Gloria are talking about. It took 10 years and a lot of traveling. As a matter of fact, I married a lawyer who had 27 years in law, and she told me that she would never help a Native American Indian because she'd lose her home, her business, her finances, and may even go to prison. And so I left my wife. I left her because I wanted to help our people. And I didn't just mean the Lakota, Nakota, Dakota, Cheyenne, or the Indian Nation, or the indigenous people as a whole. I wanted to help everyone to live. I wanted to help the water. I wanted to help our earth, Unchimaka. Many of you walk on her daily. By walking to the post office, at least you get to enjoy the sun, the water, and all the beauty in the world that Creator has given to us. I'm not telling you that you have to send me $5. It's a nice request. Yes, it is. I'm not going to lie to you. It helps with the gas, the tires, and the things that we need. But more further than that, you're investing into the next 7 generations. You can't even imagine what it would be if you was to be reincarnated right now and to say, you know what? My great-grandma helped so that we could be here and enjoy this water and this food and this way of life. And they're the ones who made the change against this government so that we can have a better life. That's how I think about it. I think we, as indigenous people, we think way further up to help our people to live. We don't think about how we're going to get over on somebody or how we're going to destroy the earth. No. We've always told people we don't like the government using our Indian names, the Apache helicopter. We don't like that. We don't like the wars, like the Red Cloud War. We don't like that. No, that's not who we are. We don't like mass murders and genocide that the government imposes around the world and uses our Indian people, our language, like Lakota language, the Navajo language, the Apache, the Mohawk, the Assiniboine. We don't like that. And while we're on that subject, I just want to apologize to the Mohawk Nation and the 6 nations that are in the New York area. I apologize for coming on your land, but I have a very strong message. And that message is the United States is bankrupt and no one's talking about it or teaching it in grade school, high school, or colleges. It is not within the corporations anyway. Joe has spoke about it on his radio. I know many people out there thinking that I have a lot of white friends. Well, I have a lot of Mexican friends and Muslim friends and different friends from all over that I've gotten to meet and associate myself with. And I thank each and every one of them. But I came here for help. And at any time you want, you can call me, 775-502-6831. I did ask a Navajo lady, a Mohawk lady named Lorraine to please help me. And we'd run into a lot of problems because we didn't all have the answers. So sometimes it takes traveling, meeting somebody else, meeting other people and more people and a lot of people just to get one answer, because no one person is the smartest person in the world. And in order to defeat the poverty and genocide that we are in, we're going to have to work together. And there is no rich Indian until all Indians are rich. And there is no person better than the next person until we can get along with one another. And I know my message is strong, and I know I come out pretty angry at times, but...
Not at all.
Huh?
I don't think you come off angry at all.
You don't know me. I've been plenty of mad at a lot of our people, but I've also cried a lot. I shared my tears. I've shared my anger, but more than that, I wanted to die, and I'm here today to ask to please help our people to live. We all deserve to live. Please forgive me for coming onto your land and asking for help, because I love you, and I want you to know that I apologize on behalf of the great Lakota nation, David Archambault, for letting our people down. And that's why I'm here. I'm here because I know that these treaties are supreme and agencies don't have no say in the treaties, and the United States bankrupt corporate charter company, their charter number can now be pulled. But we have to work together in Blahichiapo. That means to be strong on the inside and to come forward and to stand up with us on March the 10th, where there will be a indigenous rally in Washington, D.C.
Is David Archambault somehow related to the Indians here in this territory? Why you're apologizing?
No. David Archambault, when the Dakota Access Pipeline came through, he asked for help. And more than 500 tribes came to Standing Rock. And majority of them people got hurt by the United States Army Corps of Engineers and the North Dakota Governor Jack Deppelwinkle by using the local Morton County police officers. And they used the Department of Justice. They try to cover up that the Department of Justice was on the Standing Rock side, but the reality of the story, well, it was in the Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C. The Department of Justice was for the Army Corps of Engineers, and to this day is still with the Army Corps of Engineers in Washington, D.C. and going against Standing Rock and Cheyenne Eagle Butte. But the twist of the story is that the treaty, the 1851 Fort Laramie Treaty, this is not it, it's in my car. But the Fort Laramie 1851 Treaty has a seal on it, just like the 1787. This is the Morocco Treaty. It's an indigenous treaty. And this here treaty, the indigenous treaty is a peace and friendship treaty, which is to, what this does is they're not supposed to create war, and according to the Constitution, treaties are law of the land, And within the Constitution, it says that there's an article, I believe it's 90, oh my God, I have it on my computer. But the United States made a law, public law, that even the Bible is part of the United States chartered corporation. And in the Bible, it says, "Thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal." And so we need to come together as a whole. And I know a lot of people, they fail to acknowledge that public law, but there is a public law that says they bring in the Bible. Are you aware of that one?
Yep.
Do you remember the public law?
No, I don't remember the numbers. That's why I keep Paula around. She always remembers stuff. I have a terrible memory, but.
Secretary, do you have the number?
But once again, I would like to ask all you people out there, you should support this. This is a really good cause, and if you could send a $5 postal money order, $5 is not a lot of money, but it really would help for these legal battles to be fought to preserve the American Indians' land and to free them from the oppression that's been put on them since we white people got here. You know, we have been stepping all over these people. It's time to fix it, and Joann has the solution, and Joann has the strength and the wisdom to fight this battle. So send a $5 postal money order to Joann Spotted Bear, and what is the post office box?
I'll tell you what it is. It's 545
Post office
Bearsville,
box.
New York. Yeah, post office box 545 Bearsville, New York. And the zip code for zip code enthusiasts is 12409. So
I would like to just add, the reason we are asking the people to help is because majority of the tribes are ran as an agency that get federal funding from the United States de facto government, and none of the agencies have ever challenged the United States bankruptcy. And my question is, why aren't you challenging them? You know that these treaties are supreme and they belong to us. If you challenged it, you might get somewhere, someplace, by telling the truth. And they're too busy being manipulated, and so therefore.
well, part of the stipulation of their getting their grant money is that they can't go they can't be political, which is really sad, because you think you put spiritual here, political here in categories, whereas life is one.
I wouldn't say that, because Standing Rock, Cheyenne, Eagle Butte, the Army Corps of Engineers and Department of Justice are manipulating the system right now in Washington, D.C. at the District of Columbia before Judge James Boesinger. Is it Boesinger? Boesberg. And it's a nice, cute little rap of people who know that these treaties belong in Supreme Court and choose not to challenge the Supreme Court, because both parties are all parties that are involved, including the lawyers, know that they're in treason of the treaty agreement of the Fort Laramie 1851, which is both national and international. This is why, as a descendant of Wounded Knee and the Little Bighorn, descendant of the Little Bighorn and Wounded Knee Massacre 1890, and a treaty member, the elders have given me permission to put this together so that our people can live. But don't ever think I'm alone in this, because the elders are also watching what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I can speak, Joann has worked really hard, and Joann has put her life on the line for this mission that she's on. So once again, I'm asking you people out there send a $5 postal money order and help Joann to do this legal battle to free the land for our Indian brothers and sisters. And it really is time that we do right by them.
Standing Rock, and we have treaties up here. We have the flag of the Little Bighorn. We have federal laws and the U.S. Constitution. They are not letting the general public in. They're killing people in Standing Rock using rubber bullets, gas grenades.
Flashing grenades. They ran over a water protector with a cop car 2 nights ago.
They ran over
She's in critical condition. We don't know where she
They
is.
will not let us in.
Do you want to pray?
Yes, I think it's uncalled for a prayer. We need to pray. If we cannot get in here, it's better to pray.
Because there's a disturbance outside. Once that disturbance is ceased, then we can start letting people in.
We'd like to pray. Please, everybody join me in a prayer. Or even asking the police to join us in a
I
prayer.
don't know why you're standing in front of me.
If we were here,
Everybody move back some, please. Everybody move back. Everybody.
We are unarmed, our hands are visible, we're no disturbance, keep praying, you're allowed to.
Stand aside, folks. Make a hole.
If you guys could remove your hats,
Stand against the wall.
please remove your hats.
Some of you guys go further.
It's not mutual. It's not mutual. When you very, 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 ma'am. I don't do that.
okay, they want to take me to jail for singing a Lakota song and for praying.
Look how many police officers they have for 3 small women.
Don't worry, this is no different than Standing Rock. We don't have no weapons in Standing Rock, and they want to take us to jail.
Sister lost her eye.
And sister lost her eye. These are treaties. This is a treaty. This is the U.S. Constitution. I can have your badge. I can have your job. And I can sue your company.
Thank you, Senator.
I am asking
No public hearing. Unlawful demonstration. They just
This is
on a
not,
warrant. Do not stop.
this is not an unlawful. Your United States is bankrupt. Tell me about a bankrupt Indian, if you can. You can't, because we might live in poverty. We might live in genocide, lice, mice, and cockroaches, yes. But we are not a bankrupt Indian.
We've had one warning. We've had one warning. He said leave you one warning.
For what? No, I'm not demonstrating. I'm praying.
She's not
No, I can't. I want my uniform.
Stay to one side, not block the home.
Please don't touch my uniform. Don't touch my uniform. Okay, don't touch my uniform. I have a treaty.
You can sit down.
Hey, wait. I have a treaty of the Fort Lauderdale 1851.
Senator Cardin, thank you. Thank you, Senator Cardin. Thank you. Thank you, Senator Cardin.
What's your name, sister? What's your name?
Joann Spotted Bear.
Joann Spotted Bear is being arrested for praying
Okay,
outside of
but
the
I was just praying. Let go.
Don't touch me.
For what? For demonstration? You know what? Those are my treaties.
You can sit them down. We're giving you the option.
Okay, look, they're treaties. You guys, okay, do you guys know what a treaty is? Okay, do you know what a treaty is? Do you know what a treaty is? Do you know what a treaty is? Can you tell me what a treaty is? Okay, what two people? The U.S. government, the Native American Indians, right? Okay, so I'm a Native American Indian. This is a government office, right? Okay, that's a treaty of the Fourth Army. And you're gonna put me in jail for praying? For praying? No, I was praying. There's a big difference between demonstration. Yeah, get him. Come on, smile.
Back up.
Smile.
He's there with you.
I'm not letting her go. No, I'm not letting her go. I'm not letting her go. I'm here to protect her, and I'm not letting her go. That is what I came from South Dakota for. I'm here to protect her. No! Joann Mae Spotted Bear, who is here speaking for the Great Eagle Society of Pine Ridge. And she's also here
Pass this back to him with a pink hat.
speaking for the Tetuan Lakota Treaty Council.
I'm
And
also
they're not
a
letting her
dignitary
in
at
the
the
public
United
hearing.
Nations level.
I have a sword.
These cops don't understand.
He's coming as a
international
spokesperson
law,
for
not
the Tetuan Treaty Council.
With Roosevelt firing Congress, and he fired himself. At that time in 1933, Congress, the 52 states came together, and in 1934 we have the Indian Reorganization Act. So if Congress, if President Roosevelt fired Congress in 1933 and fired himself and went Sendai and never to meet again, and in 1934 the Indian Reorganization Act was formed,